Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing great in 2019. I am Dina Bell and I have a very interesting topic for you today, which is how to save $10,000. And I also have a surprise at the end of the video, which I'll talk about a little later. For right now, without any further ado, let's talk about how you can save money for your dream vacation or that dream car. Point number 1. Take a pen and a piece of paper and write down the answers to these 3 questions. Question number 1. What am I saving for? We first need to know, what are we saving for? What is the motivation behind you need to save? Is it to pay off your debt? Do you want to get married? Is it to buy a house? Is it for retirement? Just write down whatever your need is to save. Question number 2. How much do I need to save? Whatever you have answered for question number 1 will determine how much money you need to save in order to buy what you need. If it's something that's available in the market, it should be very easy to quantify. For example, the amount required to pay off your debt. You can just call the bank and ask what's your outstanding loan balance, and then work towards saving that amount. If it's something that you don't know how much it's going to cost you, just take a best guess. For example, you may not know how much money you exactly need to get married. In this scenario, you could first research all the things you need to buy, things you need to rent. You could also list down the guest list you wish to invite, and then add up the cost of each of these items and estimate the required amount. The idea is to come up with the amount that will be our target that we need to work towards. In my video, that target is $10,000. Now that we've taken care of the simpler parts of this exercise, let's move on to the main question. Question number 3. How can I save this amount? There are 4 simple steps that have helped me save approximately 35% of my income every month. Step number 1. Acknowledge wasteful spending. What do I mean by that? If I were to ask you, where do you spend your money? The answer would probably be house rent, mortgage payment, car loan, groceries, student loan, and the list goes on. What we're doing here is just taking account of the bigger ticket items. But what about the smaller items? Like the coffee you buy every morning on your way to work, the times you eat out with friends without budgeting, or what about the parking tickets or fines you end up paying for reckless driving? What about addictive habits like smoking? Believe it or not, all of these things take up a huge chunk of your income. The sooner you realize and acknowledge that these are items that need to be budgeted every month, the sooner you can start your journey towards higher saving. So, the first step I want all of you to take is to start accounting for all your expenses. I'm not asking you to stop spending or change your habits right away. As a first step, our only goal is to first see what are the activities that we spend money on without thinking. So from today, start listing down each and every expense, even if it is something as small as just buying a pack of gum. List it down so that you're aware where you spend your money. And do this every day for the next 30 days. By the end of the month, you should be able to segregate and quantify which activity takes up what amount of dollar or percentage of your income. It may seem very tedious and time-consuming, but trust me, this is extremely important. The best way I found to list down all my expenses is to just do it on my phone, since we're all stuck to it 24/7. I personally use a free app called Spending Tracker for all my purchases. As soon as I spend money, I immediately log it in the tracker. It doesn't matter if it's a cash expense or if I'm using my credit card. I log all my expenses based on categories, and at the end of the month, I can see how much money I spent for clothes, for makeup, for food, and for other stuff. And you need to do the same. There are many free expense tracking apps available on the App Store which you could use that allow you to scan your receipts, save them on the cloud, prepare graphs. Those apps can do a lot more sophisticated stuff than just the spending tracker. But As I'm all about simplicity and I want something simple, Spending Tracker does the job for me right now. Let me know in the comment section below if you would like a video on free apps that you can use for tracking your expenses, or if you know of a better app that you are currently using. I'd love to know about it. Now that we have a better understanding of where we spend our money, we'll move on to our next step, which is step number 2. Reduce wasteful spending by X%. I have to admit, this is going to be a little difficult, but this is what will get us actual results. Based on your expense breakdown in step number 1, you need to figure out activities you believe are wasteful and can be reduced gradually. That'll help you save money. Few things I saved money on were things like going to the movies. I used to spend a lot of money going to the movies. Almost twice a week with my we would get popcorn and drinks and everything. We both were crazy movie fanatics, and going to the movies had become a weekly ritual. When I started being more mindful of where I spent my money, I calculated how much money I was spending on everything. During this time, I calculated we actually spent almost $3,000 in 1 year on just movies and popcorn, which is absolutely ridiculous. No one should be doing that. It is an absolute waste of both time and money. I reduced going to the movies and instead started saving more money. Now, I just watch movies online, which is definitely more cost efficient. Once in a while, I'll still go to the movies and watch something I've been waiting for, something like the Mission Impossible movies or the Adventure movies. But this is now strictly restricted to only once every 3 months. Another activity where I was spending a lot of money was eating out every weekend with friends or family. Anyone who has different groups of friends will understand this problem. I have a group of friends from high school, another group of friends from uni, another group of friends from my first job, my current colleagues, family friends. If I made plans with each of these friends, I'll never eat at home and spend all my money on dinners with zero savings. Sure, friends and family are important, but get-togethers don't necessarily always have to be about going to expensive restaurants. As an alternative, you can invite friends over to your place together and limit these activities to what is actually manageable. Be mindful of how often you're eating out. This will definitely help you in saving money, and you'll end up eating healthier food as well. With my busy schedule and so much going on, I've made it a point to meet friends at least once a month. Since you all are just getting started on this journey towards saving, you could probably reduce your get-togethers with friends to probably twice a month. These were the 2 main activities that I cut down on to save more money. Another thing I can think of is smoking and drinking. I personally don't smoke or drink, but I want to talk about this because I see a lot of people, including a lot of my own friends, spending a lot of money on cigarettes and drinks and just going out. I'm sure no one wants to be lectured on how smoking is bad for your health. We all know that already. My advice is to reduce your addictive habit, whatever habit that may be. Reduce it by 10%. So, for example, if you smoke 10 cigarettes in 1 day, you could reduce it to 9 cigarettes in a day, and you could do this for 1 month. That's not difficult. The next month, you could reduce from 9 cigarettes in 1 day to 8, and then you could carry on this for another month. Nothing happens overnight. This is going to be a gradual process, and over time, these small steps will help you save more money. The next thing we need to do is obviously start the implementation. But before we do that, there's one more step, which is step number 3. Have a separate savings account. Open a new bank account and hide your ATM somewhere where it is not accessible to you. Then, whatever savings you're making from cutting down on wasteful spending, transfer those funds to this account. Let me give you an example. Suppose you make $1,000 a month and you've established that you waste on various activities a total of $200 that you could potentially save. So, as soon as you get your paycheck, transfer the $200 to this new separate bank account. Make sure these funds are not easily accessible to you. It would be best if you're able to transfer money automatically, something like an auto debit, to transfer money into your savings account every month automatically. When this becomes an automatic process, it takes away the control from you and saves you from the hassle of making manual transfers each month. Now that you don't see that you have excess $200 to spend, you'll end up saving $200 and just use the $800 that you have in your regular bank account. In the beginning, saving just $200 may seem like a very small amount, but once you start seeing your savings grow, you'll be motivated to save a lot more. That's why we'll talk about our next step, which is equally as important as all of our previous steps. That is step number 4, reassess. Earlier in the video, I spoke about logging your expenses in an app on your phone. In this step, you'll continue logging all your expenses every month. You'll also go back to step number 2 and assess your expense and evaluate how much additional money you can save every month. What other activities are wasteful? I don't really add value. Maybe you'll want to reduce the frequency of these, as like the number of times you watch movies outside, the number of times you buy coffee, or the number of times you eat out. This will be an ongoing exercise that you will do every month until you're able to save as much as you need and start saving at least as a minimum 20% of your income. You should continue this process of re-evaluation until you reach your target amount, your goal. In the beginning, the saving rate may be just 5 or 10%. In this case, keep evaluating, keep reassessing your choices, and keep looking for items or places where you could cut spending. If you're not spending 20% of your income on a monthly basis, you're definitely not living within your means, and you should make it a target to reach that 20% saving. I've personally saved close to $10,000 in 1 year, and you can do it too. That's it. These were the simple steps I use to save money. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As I had mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'll be giving out a surprise giveaway every month to one of my subscribers. The winner will be announced at the end of each month. All you need to do to be eligible is to comment below one activity that you will be cutting down on to start saving. You also need to like and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to switch on the notifications by clicking on the bell icon. Once again, you have to like, subscribe and comment one activity that you'll be working on to save more money. One winner will be announced at the end of the month. I'd also love it if you'd give any feedback or suggestions on my videos for improvement. That's all for now. Happy saving!